Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. This is episode 8 of 10 React Native shared element transitions. And I was inspired by Outcrowd. They've built this beautiful UI plus a shared element transition and some animations on the detail screen. And I'll show you my way of doing it in React Native by using the shared element transition plus Animatable to animate the mounting and unmounting of the components. Plus I'll show you a little trick. As you can see, like the transition from the initial screen to the second screen, there is a bottom sheet which is actually animated. So I'll also show you how to create this type of effect, which is also shared element transition, by the way, which is applied from the initial screen to the second screen. So let's play the intro, jump straight into VS Code and start building this shared element transition and the animations. Shall we? Alrighty guys, so we are in VS Code here. I've already created the entry point for the episode 8. We have here a dummy list and I've also created a details page for it. And I already prepared the data. So let me walk you through what we have so far. We have here a list of colors and some images, and I've grabbed the images from flaticon.com. They have these beautiful kawaii packs. So thank you so much, Flaticon, for the icons. By the way, you can also check it out, the link in the description of this video if you'd like to also use them, but please give credit to the author. And down below I have some details icon collection. Those icons will be used in the detail screen, on the detail screen, where we will show some different categories. And finally we have here the main data that we will be displaying into a flat list that contains a color, name, job, title, and some categories that again we will be displaying them on the second page. So let's go here to the salon list. Like this is the main entry point, right? Start creating the list. And for that I'll be using a flat list. So here I'll have a flat list. Import the flat list from React Native, right? We'll have the data salon. We'll have a key extractor of item key. Then we'll render the item. Get the item, and here return a touchable opacity. Right, great. Pass a dummy on press for now. We'll be populating it in a minute. And here we'll have a view that will have a flex one, and we'll also give a padding of spacing. And here inside we'll have a dummy view for the background image that we'll also share between screens. So a view, so style, it's going to be styles.bg. Now we will have a text, right, that's going to display the item and then the name, the same item and job title. Hit save here. So we have those items, right? And finally an image. And the image will have a source of URI item image. And we'll also pass a style of styles image. And image is not defined. Let me import it. Great. And right, so reload and go to tutorial. The reason why the image is not visible is because we did not set any width or height, so it's 0 by default. And now looking at this BG, I would like to also apply a different color, or maybe, right, so item color. And I know for sure that this is going to actually, you know what, this is going to stretch the entire style sheet absolute fill object, right? And along with it we'll pass the background image but also a border radius of 16. Great. Now Let's style the items, but first I like to detachable opacity to give a style of margin, bottom, of spacing. Great, and let's give a fixed height for the item itself. So I'll pass here a content container style of padding. It's going to be spacing, right? So we create this beautiful line, and I've said that we need to specify a fixed height. So height is going to be item height. And the reason for that is because the image will be positioned absolute, and we don't have any, the item is not going to take into account the image height. So let me go here above and create the item height. Is going to be height multiplied with 18, let's say. Height is not defined, import height. So 18% of the screen height, and also wrap this, transfer this and as a safe area view. So we have a safe area view instead of a view, so we can create this space above. Great, now let's go to the styles, and we'll have this one should be style, styles name, and job title, right? So we'll have name, job title, and then an image. And for the name, I would like to have it a font weight of 700 and a font size of maybe 18. Yeah, that looks good. And for the job, I'll have a font size of 11 maybe. Oh, right, and an opacity of 0.7. Great. And for the image, I'll pass the width as item size, as item height multiplied by let's say 0.8. Apply the same for height. Resize mode of contain. All right, and position this absolute. Move it at bottom 0 and right spacing. So we align them here, right? Okay, so far I think this is it for the item. Now let's apply a navigation system to the on-press. So navigate to salon, list details, and pass the item. Now if we go to the salon here, remove the text, we don't need it. So first let's grab the dummy background image along with the image and text and everything mostly. Item is not defined. Okay, let's get it from the route. So route, and then here we'll have an item from route params. Okay, and I think that we also need to import image. Okay, so we have those guys here. And another thing which I've actually forgotten, I've mentioned in the beginning of this video, is that we will have a dummy, like a bottom sheet, that's going to also be shared between screens. Initially on the first screen it's not going to be visible, but on the second screen it's going to contain some informations. And let's create it here. So outside of the flat list, I'll have a view, and I'll give this style of styles BG, and the BG will have this. So let me go back. Okay, so I'll have here position, this absolute. I'll apply width of width, height of height. So both imported, right? and if I'm giving a background color of red, you'll see that it's going to fill the entire screen, which is amazing. But this time I would like to move it downwards. So transform translate y is going to be height. So it's not going to be visible. Half of the screen you'll see here, and let's also apply some border radius of 32. So we have this guy, and now we can move it outside of the view. And now this background, we would also like to have it here inside the detail screen, but this time we'll have a content inside it, which is really nice. So content, right? And if I'm going back, I can actually grab the whole styles. So styles here also for the name and for the image. So for the name, and we'll apply a different font size, and item height is not defined. So let me export the item height, and inside the detail screen, import it from what's the name, salon list. Great. So width is not defined. Okay, let me import width and height. Okay, width and height. Okay, now moving to the second screen. Let's define this background color should take a third of the screen height. So I'll get here a constant top header height, which is height multiplied with 0.3. Okay, and this top header height I can apply to the background. So height, it's top header height. Great, and also remove the border. We don't need it. And now we would like to move this this icon or this image here, right? So the styles for the image, instead of button 0, is going to be top header height, but I'll also like to decrement it by item height. Great, so it's going to start directly from the bottom, and let's apply the same for the item itself. First, remove the job description, and for the name, I'll be positioning it absolute, and top is going to be top header height, and I'll shift it above, so minus spacing, multiply it by 2 or maybe by 4. Okay, and also a left of spacing multiplied by 2. Okay, this is looking really good. I think that I can do like this, so it's starting from here. And now let's see where is the BG, right? So BG, if I'm translating it like this, right, it's here, but initially I would like to have it starting from this edge. So instead of translating it directly like this, we'll have top header height. And notice that the background is not taking into account the border radius. So now if I'm going to the top header, I would like to add the border radius of 32. So it's going to start from here. All right, this is looking really good. And additional to the BG, I would like to give it a padding of spacing. So we'll have this beautiful container and a padding top of 32. Maybe plus spacing, right? Because we'll also like to include the spacing itself. Great. And now for the remain part, let's create the 3 dots here, and we'll be using the details icon. So if I'm going here, inside this content, I'll have a view, and I'll iterate over the details icon, map item or detail, and I'll also need the index. So I'll return here a view, that's going to contain an ant design and icon, right? The name is going to be detail icon. Let's apply a size of maybe 16. We'll be playing around with it. And the color, and apply a key of detail dot icon, and oops, so we'll have here and the index. All right, so we have this beautiful icon. All right, and I would like to modify the style. So flex direction is going to be row. Okay, and now I would like to justify the content space evenly. So I have this, and for the inner style, I would like to apply styles of background color is going to be item.color. It's actually detail, right? Detail.color. I'll apply a padding, or maybe a height of 64 with 64, even maybe less, so 36. I think 42 is looking good, and a border radius of 26. I was doing the math in my head, so all right, I think that I'll stick with 64, so it's better, it's more visible, right? And I'll increase the font size here of 24, and I'll align the items to the center and justify the content to the center. Great, so this is looking really nice. I think that shrinking down the font size a little, great. And maybe we can add a different color to it. No, I think white is better. Also remove the red because we don't need it. So red, background color red, and background color should be white instead. Amazing. And now inside the data we have some categories, right? So let's iterate over that and create another view. So actually here inside the view we can pass a scroll view. So the scroll view is not defined, so scroll view. Okay, if I'm going to the second page, all right, this is looking really nice. And another view here, I'll have another view which will contain the categories for each item, right? So I'll iterate over categories. So item.categories, I'll get a category, and here I'll say return a view, pass the key as category key, and each category is going to have a text, right? So we have this title, so category.title, and now each category has a subcategory, right? So subcategory. So I'll have here another map category, subcuts, map, subcut, and here I'll also need the index and return a view. That's going to contain a view for the dot, dummy one, and the text. And we'll have a subcut, and more or less I think that's it, right? All right, so for the title I'll say styles title. This row should be a row, so flex direction row. And for the dummy view here, I'll say a height of maybe 6 with 6, border radius 3, background color is going to be gold. Right, so we have this beautiful dot here, and I'll apply a margin right of spacing divided by 2. Even more, maybe spacing, and also increase the size just a little. So 10, 10, and 5. think it's too much, maybe 8. All right, 8 looks better. And for the flex row, I would like to align the items to the center. Beautiful. The missing part is to style this. Styles subcategory, subtitle. Okay, so we'll have some styles here. So we'll have a title and a subtitle. So the title is going to have a font weight of 700, font size of maybe 18. Style. Okay, so we have this list here, and I would like to give a margin bottom of spacing. Okay, and the subtitle should have a font size maybe of 14, 15, and also increase just a little bit the font size here. Okay, amazing. And now if I'm going, I think this is looking really good, and maybe apply a different opacity here, 0.8. Okay, actually 14 looks better. And let's give it a breathing room here to the items. So this guy should have a margin bottom of spacing divided by 2. So we create a space between those, and each category should have let's say margin vertical of spacing. All right, and this we can move it inside just a little. So this view is going to have a margin left of spacing. All right, this is looking really nice. And the view that's containing those should also have some margin vertical maybe of spacing. Okay, and maybe a margin bottom of spacing multiplied by 2 plus 32. Okay, so we create this effect here. I think that this should be enough. Okay, so it's equal size. All right, and now let's start animating those. And we'll be using the Animatable for that. So let's import Animatable from React Native Animatable. And also create here a duration, which is 400. And let's define what items should be animatable. So those 3 views should be animatable. So we'll have this animatable.view, animatable.view. And which one? The view here. So each additional view from inside. So those views should be animatable as well. And for those 3 buttons, I would like to apply a bounce in effect. So here I would like to have an animation of bounce in. So they will bounce, but I will delay this with duration plus index multiplied with 100, right? So we'll have here kind of like a stagger animation, tuk, tuk, tuk. Okay, and now let's apply the same for the animation here, but this time I would like to have a in top. It's fade in up. All right, and you see it's they moved, but I would like to delay them as well. So it's going to be duration plus index multiplied with 100, right? So here, and index we can grab it from the category. So we have this this delay but this time I think that I'll increase it differently. And I will also like to add like more to it. So I think it's maybe duration multiplied by 2. So I'll like to wait more for this animation to happen, you see. All right. So this is looking really nice so far. And the last part is to actually do the shared element transition. So if I'm going to the salon list here, I would like to grab the item into a shared element transition. So wrap it. All right, and pass the ID was item key, and then name. Do the same for the dummy background. So shared element, but it's background. Actually, it can be BG directly. Do the same for the image, and also wrap this background. And this time we don't need a key, but we can directly specify the general.bg. Alrighty, so now let's fix the styles. The view for the background should have absolute fill. The image should have the same styles, right? All right, and I think that's it, right? Now let's move to the other screen. So for the general, I'll have this background. This is where the magic happens. So as you can see, I'm wrapping the entire view that contains this scrollable, which is like really, really nice. So this entire view is going to be a scrollable. Is going to be shared, and it contains more information, right? So import shared element. Now let's go back, create this wrap, also the name, and also the image. So name, image, and we had the background, right? So the background, great. So let's see if there are missing styles. Not really, so everything is looking good. I think that I'll move just a little bit the image. So the top, I'll say plus, let's say 10. So I'll move just a little bit so you'll not see the bottom. Okay. And now let's go to a previous tutorial and copy the shared elements. So now we've connected the pages, but now we also need to inform the shared element transition, right? Hey, those are the elements that you should be moving. Salon list details. I have here the photography. Copy this code. All right. So we will have the how is it's called? It's the BG, right? The name. Then we'll have the image, and then we will have the general BG. Hit save and refresh, and now all the elements should be also moved from a screen to another. So let's see. Oh, right, so this is looking really good. Okay, there are some styles that we need to fix. So let's fix first the style. The style is going to be, we should position this absolute, so the name is going to be positioned absolute. And now we have the job title should have a margin top of 32, maybe even less, so it's 18. Point. Okay, and now we fix the styles. I think the rest is looking really good. Alright guys, so that was it. Thank you so much for staying so long with me. I hope that you've learned something new and you can apply it in your existing projects or project. If you have any issues or any problems, please don't hesitate to leave a comment down below. I'll do my best to answer all of them and help you out as much as I can. Also, don't forget to subscribe and smash the like button, or double smash the dislike button. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much. Bye bye.